What if I told you that every vote you cast, every law you oppose, every outrage you share online might mean nothing if you can't even lead yourself? That real political change doesn't start in any parliament. It starts in your personal routine. Because before you rule a nation, you must learn to rule your mind. We hear the word sovereignty and picture flags, parliaments, and border controls. But sovereignty didn't begin with governments. It began with the individual. To be sovereign as a person means to be undivided, to own your choices, to live directed from within, not dictated from without. The state reflects the citizen. If we're impulsive, confused, and emotionally driven, so too will our institutions be. If we are principled, self-led, and informed, our political structures will mirror that strength. A society cannot be free if its citizens are slaves to comfort, fear, or distraction. Your morning routine, your diet, your discipline, these aren't just personal preferences, they're political acts, because you are the foundation of the nation you live in. True change, it starts when we stop outsourcing responsibility and start embodying sovereignty in our own lives. Now let's get real. Many young people in the world feel cynical, checked out, even betrayed by the system. Scandals, corruption, endless distractions. It's no wonder so many people feel powerless. But that powerlessness isn't the fault of politics alone. It's what happens when we surrender our attention, our will, our minds to algorithms, ideologies, and influences. We're told to express ourselves, but never to discipline ourselves. We're taught consumption over contribution, reactivity over reasoning. But here's the harsh truth. If we want political sovereignty, we must first reclaim personal agency. We don't need louder protests. We need deeper reflection. We need people who read more than they scroll, who speak because they've studied, who lead because they've learned to follow through. Because when you govern yourself, your mind, your time, your values, you become ungovernable by the nonsense. And let me tell you when all this hit home for me. I was reading about the rise and fall of empires. Rome, Britain, the Ottomans. I was obsessed with how great civilizations collapse. And I saw a pattern. It always begins with individuals who stop striving for virtue. Rome didn't fall because of one decision. It rotted from within, with distractions, decadence, and disconnection. And I had to look into the mirror and ask, am I upholding the values I claim to defend? Back then, I wasn't. I was consuming mindlessly, reacting emotionally, waiting for someone else to take responsibility. That was my turning point. I realized that sovereignty isn't a theory, it's a practice, a discipline, a quiet commitment to show up daily as someone who's worth following. Bit by bit, I rebuilt myself. I reclaimed my time, I cleaned up my habits, and in doing so, I found something better than comfort. I found clarity. And that clarity has given me courage. The courage to think for myself, to stand for something, to lead from within. Let's make this real for you. Ask yourself, where in my life am I outsourcing responsibility? What am I letting control my emotions, media, moods, or other people? What's that one daily habit that makes me more sovereign or less? Write the answers down, reflect, and then act. Now, pick one issue that actually matters to you. Maybe education, housing, privacy. Don't just scroll the headlines. Dig in, read the history, compare opinions, find the truth for yourself. Then form your own stance, one rooted in study, not sentiment. These two practices, personal integrity and political inquiry, are radical acts today. Because sovereign individuals don't just tweet. They build, they lead, they embody the kind of character cultures are built on. And that kind of sovereignty is contagious. You cannot command from your nation what you refuse to demand from yourself. If you want a freer world, build a freer self. This isn't just philosophy, it's your duty. because the real revolution starts within. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it with someone who's ready to take ownership of their lives. Leave a comment below answering, what's the one thing you're doing this week to reclaim your personal sovereignty? And don't forget to subscribe. Every episode, we're exploring how to lead yourself well, because the world needs more people who can. Remember, lead yourself well, and I'll see you next time.